Welcome back. This is video number 2. If you're interested in starting a local newsletter, then this series is going to break down exactly how the East Idaho Insiders is building their local newsletter, monetizing and growing it as well. What we did in the first video in this series is we broke down exactly the structure of this local newsletter. Now, this is a great model for you to follow if you're a complete beginner. You've never had a side hustle online. You've never run any kind of online business. You don't have a huge amount of time to dedicate to it. So, you want something that's going to take you a couple of hours. You're not trying to get a second full-time job. You want something that's going to be side hustle money, pay the mortgage. Then this format of this local newsletter here is what you want to start with, because people come to a local newsletter, they subscribe to it because they want you to plan their weekend. Okay, they want you to take the thinking out of planning. So this is the main section. And I give you full permission right now for the first 10 issues of your local newsletter to just be events. And what I showed you in the previous video is how you can write all of this using very, very simple tools in minutes, because this can take you hours. Okay, you got to find all the sources, you got to find all the links, you got to format it. Even if you're using AI, this might take you, 45 minutes. This tool here is Flux Local, and this writes you a local newsletter in just a couple of minutes. It does have a free plan that's good enough for you to test it if you're serious about starting a local newsletter. If you watch this series of videos and you decide, I want to give this a go, I tell you now, the free plan is not going to be good enough. If you cannot spare the money, then you're going to have to do it the long-winded way, spend more time. But if you can, then get yourself on Flux Local, test out. The free plan is there, so you can fill all of this out. You can hit search, and you can see here, I ran a search for Turlock, California. It found me 203 events. All I have to do is go through this list here, organized by day, click the events I want to include in my local newsletter, click this button here. I just click on this one here, then it will write a newsletter for me. And on top of that, coming soon, we have the carousel feature, so it will create social media carousels for you as well, for Instagram and for Facebook. That is coming to the software. I showed you the lifetime deals. This is crazy at the moment. You get the software for $149. You get our complete cohort-based mentorship training that we're doing with live Q&As, with homeworks. We walk you through exactly how to start and launch your local newsletter. You use Flux Local to find the events and write the newsletter for you. You get yourself into our private community for this price as well, so you can ask questions. You can go through with other people that are also doing this. We're not going to have this around for long. This is only going to be around till we've sold a small number of lifetime deals. Then you'll be on the same pricing as everyone else, which is a monthly pricing. And on top of that, we have I'm not really sure the name of it yet, but it's basically a local newsletter growth vault, which is full of different growth methods for growing and monetizing your newsletter. And so that's what I want to talk to you about in this second video. I want to talk to you about how this newsletter is making money, how they're trying to make money, because I can't prove they're making a penny just from looking at it, obviously, but how they are trying to make money. Now, the first thing we can see here is we've got East Idaho Insider Puppy Highlight. So they've got a dog that's up for adoption. They're working with some kind of shelter. Now, they might be doing this completely for free, or the shelter will be paying them, because the adoption fee here is $160. They probably make a little bit more money as well, with a bed, with food and everything. So let's call it $200. So even if you don't go and adopt Maggie, if they get more traffic, more foot traffic going down to the shelter to adopt, then for, let's say, $50 for a month of getting posts, advertising into the newsletter, then all they have to do is have one adoption directly from the newsletter, and they're in profit, and therefore they're probably going to be more than happy to be able to keep paying. Not only that, but you can also promote them on social media. So you could make a social media post about Maggie for Facebook and Instagram, and provide even more value that way. So advertising and sponsorships is one way you can make money. Now, what I would change here is I would have a lead sponsor up here, or I would go to somebody and say, how about being my lead sponsor for 3 months, 6 months? Talk to them and say, look, I've got 200 subscribers right now. If you pay to be my lead sponsor, I'll put you at the top of every single newsletter edition for the next 6 months, and you give me $500. I'm going to tell you why the $500 is important in a second. But for 6 months, you're going to say, I'll put you there. Right now, I've only got 200 subscribers, but I'm going to take every single penny of that $500 and I'm going to put it into Facebook ads. And so what's going to happen is that with Facebook ads for local newsletters, you know, let's say a roofer or a plumber, they're probably paying close to $100. I mean, if I'm being generous, $50 per lead, somebody to click on their ad in Google. And that's a lead. That's not even a customer. And what you're saying is that 200 people on my list every week, they're going to see your business. And I'm going to put that into ads, which means that if I get, you know, if you get a subscriber on your list for 20 cents, which isn't stupidly low, if you, you know, you do this properly and you pick an area that doesn't have too much competition, then that's $1 is going to turn into 5 subscribers. So if you say to them, look, I'm going to run my newsletter and I'm going to use that $500 to grow my subscribers, even if at 50 cents a subscriber, then by the time the 6 months is up, it's going to be, you're going to have added 1,000 subscribers. That's 1,200 subscribers they're getting in front of. You know, that's what you say to them. You're like, $500, you're at the front, 3 months, 6 months, whatever they agree to. All that money goes into ads, and by the end of it, you'll be in front of my list of 1,200. I mean, for most businesses, that's not a massive risk of spending $500. For a roofer, a plumber, for an aesthetics clinic, a plastic surgeon, they only need to make one sale, a dentist, and they've got that $500 back. So you're pretty low risk to them in terms of having a headline sponsor. So that's what I would put in there. Then you've got your smaller advertisers. Then we've got this event section, which, as I said, we're going to use Flux Local in order to be able to write that for us. Then here we've got another sponsor. So we've got an image here. And again, you do everything for them. Say, look, I'll do the copy. I'll create the creative. All you have to do is pay me and I'll put you in for a month, a week, whatever you want to offer them for however much you want to charge them. And then down here, we've got promote your business. So this is where people can go to register their business to be promoted. Hosting an event. So if people are reading this, because the people on your list are going to be business owners, they're going to be locals, they're going to have events, they can submit their event here. And again, you could go to them and say, look, I'll add you to the list. I'll add your event here with everyone else. But if you'd like to be our featured event, so you get to be right at the top here, you'll get an image, you'll get more real estate, we'll write more about it, we'll give you a paragraph instead of, you know, just this bog standard thing. It's $20, $30. Okay? As long as you can put that together in under an hour, it's covered your time. If they say no, that's fine. Just put them in with everybody else. You know, they don't have to pay anything. But if they want some extra real estate because they want to sell more tickets to their event or whatever, give them the option. So these are all the very, very simple ways within your newsletter you can get advertisers and sponsors. Now, in the future, you can have a jobs board. You can have an events calendar. Like I said, you can create social media content to promote businesses and promote events so that you can charge them for featuring them. That is all possible. But you don't have to do that for the first 10 issues. All you need to do for the first 10 issues is get the reps in, get this thing out in front of people, have these links here. It's really, really easy to collect this information, to build forms in order to collect this information. You can use Google Forms. Okay, you can just even tell people to email it to you if you don't know how to use Google Forms. But start this simple and then build up to something more complicated after you've got your first 10 issues. If you're feeling confident after the first 5 issues are out, start doing the more complicated stuff sooner. But in terms of sponsorships and advertisers, that's as simple as you need to make it. So while we're here, let's take a look at these 2 forms. So interested in advertising. So this is the one for promoting your business. Like I said, look, they've used a Google form. These are so easy to set up. Honestly, guys, you can do this really, really quickly. You get all the information sent to you in the back end through your Google account. Pro tip, if you are going to serious about starting a local newsletter, set yourself up a Gmail account. So this would be like the East Idaho Insider at gmail.com. Don't use your personal email. But we can see business category, business name, business address, contact phone number, contact name, contact email, and then how often are they considering advertising. You could put your prices and promotions packages right in here if you want to. But this is just a very simple form, collecting information. They hit submit, and then you or somebody can reach out and talk to them about sponsoring. In terms of events, same thing. Information about the event. This is everything that is needed. Okay, everything that Dakota needs in order to be able to format one of these very, very simple events. And then what I'd be doing is, as you can see here, bang, we've got it here. In the general events section, do you want it for free? Highlighted event with a photo, top of email, other, put it in there, and then they can fill that out. If you use different tools, you can take payments straight away. Okay, before they've even changed their mind, they have an opportunity to pay you, $20 or $50, or just put it in the free section, and then they can submit the event. Okay, but this will probably just get, as like I said, sent as an email, and then Dakota can go ahead and talk to these people, see what they want, and see how much they are willing to pay. Yeah, definitely get that down as a template into the bottom of your newsletter. For sending your newsletter, use CopyQuill or Beehive. I'll leave a link and discounts to those down in the description as well, so that once your newsletter is written, either you do it yourself or you use something like Flux Local, you can then put it into a tool like Beehive or like CopyQuill in order to get it sent out to your readers. What we're going to do in the next video is we'll actually sign up to the East Idaho Insiders. We'll take a look at their welcome email. As I said, if you do go for the lifetime deal for Flux Local at $149, then you'll actually get our welcome email template, so you don't even have to write one from scratch. But we'll take a look at their welcome email. We'll take a look if they've got a welcome series. I'll talk to you more about growth and monetization through the welcome series, so you get an idea of how you could be making some money there as well. We'll see you in the next one.